Hello everyone, and today we're back into another Loomian Legacy Top 5, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 specialty boots Loomians in all of Loomian Legacy. I have made a top 5 on this already, but I wanted to make it again and update it. So yeah, these are the new top 5 best specialty boots Loomians. So let's head to it. Number 5 on this list is actually going to be Montreal. Specialization Boots Montreal makes the top 5. And this might be one of the best specialization Loomians in the entire game. It's questionable between Metatoad, but the thing that makes Montreal really good is that it actually has a solid speed stat, meaning that you can actually run specialty boots on Montreal and outspeed a lot of threats. This does not. The boots is not good on regular Montreal. This is good on the secret ability. And with Steel Crusher, this thing can hit very hard. Not to mention that sometimes Steel Crusher can actually give you a melee attack increase, which can really make the damage snowball over time. Even better, no one will actually know what Montreal you're going to use. They're probably going to assume you're using the Rev Up variant. So when you use Steel Crusher and do a ton of damage, yeah, Montreal can definitely do some work. And the only reason it is number 5 and not higher is because I think there are other boots users which are better. And since you are only stuck with one move, there are Loomians like Seer Knight and Hunter that quad resist you. So there are a lot of Loomians that can wall you, but Boots specialization Montreal definitely deserves to be in the top 5. Number 4 into the list is actually going to be Barb Badger. Oh my gosh, this thing is a really good boots user. With the Dauntless ability, it gives you a melee attack increase when the opposing Loomian has a super effective move. Which means you can pretty much swap this thing in with your speed tier with specialty boots and outspeed them. They may have a super effective move, but you get the melee attack increase and then outspeed them. The only Loomians that can outspeed Boots Barb Badger are Loomians that have higher speed than it that are also running boots. I guess there's also Gargolem speed form as well, but the thing is Gargolem speed form does not hit hard enough, so yeah, that doesn't really matter that much anyway. Barb Badger is definitely one of the best boots users in the game, although it's not in the top 3. The reason why Barb Badger is not in the top 3 in terms of specialty boots users is because when you run specialty boots, you lose Brawn boost. And there's only 3 coverage moves you can have. All you have is Brawler, Ice, and Earth. You could run normal or typeless coverage, but it's not usually that worth it. So yeah, that's why Barb Badger's not in the top 3, but this thing is a very dangerous Loomian and can definitely be run with boots very well. It should definitely be considered in this top 5. So yeah, number 3 onto this list is actually going to be the only range attacker on this list. It's a Kazune. And it makes sense why Boots at Kazune is one of the best specialty boots users. It has double pivot, has flash and fleet, and zip zap pivot, while also having fire stab. And I know that there's a little thing going on which Loomian is better, a Kazune or Phage Knot. And while Phage Knot is a lot better defensively, offensively, Kazune is way better. And these are the reasons. Fire Breath Stab. You can actually hit Loomians with Fire Breath, meaning that the plant types that can soak your pivot options, you can hit super effectively with Fire Breath. And while Phage Knot does have Rant, it's a 55 damage coverage move compared to a 90 power stab move. So Kazune is just better offensively. And not to mention, its 94 speed with specialty boots makes it outspeed anything in the game apart from other boots users. Meaning that you're always going first, you pivot out, you deal damage, and then you go into something that can soak hits from the opposing Loomian. It's probably one of the best leads in the entire game, and also one of the best pivot users, especially if you have a very bulky team. Kazune definitely belongs in the top 3. It is definitely one of the top specialty boots users in the entire game. So yeah, Kazune in the top 3. Number 2 onto this list is actually going to be Helvantic. And I know what everyone is thinking. In the top 15 PvP Loomians, Helvantic was not on the list and Barb Badger was. So why is Helvantic above Barb Badger in Specialty Boots Loomians? It's because as a specialty boots, Loomian, Helvantic is better than Barb Badger. And while Barb Badger is a little bit better than Helvantic overall, as a boots user, Helvantic is way better. Mainly because, one, you have more coverage options, and two, once you get a KO, you get a melee attack increase, meaning that the extra damage in the late game can absolutely snowball. With specialty boots, this makes Helvantic one of the best late game cleaners in the entire game. It has 4 different coverage moves. 4! It can pretty much hit anything in the entire game apart from earth types, and even then you could still hit them neutrally with Gnarly Gnash, especially if you run Pitch Black. So, Helvantic is probably one of the best boots users in the entire game. And the reason why it is so good is because it only has Bulk Up as setup. You don't have to drop Brawn Boost. You can just run a different coverage move as boots, making Helvantic one of the scariest sweepers in the entire game. Not to mention that it also has a pretty high speed stat as well, which definitely helps Helvantic out, at least compared to Barb Badger on the list. Helvantic definitely deserves to be in the top 3, and it's definitely number 2 on this list. The best specialty boots user in all of Loomian Legacy is Tata. I don't think there's really under option. Tata is the fastest Loomian on the list, hits harder out of any Loomian on the list, and yeah, this thing is an absolute nuke. This is one of the best wall breakers in the entire game. And it's a wall breaker with an ability to increase its damage and a very high speed stat. And if you combine specialty boots, Tata is probably one of the fastest Loomians in the entire game. Tata definitely deserves to be number 1. And even though its offensive typing is kind of trash, it does have toxic coverage, which does help it out quite a bit. You can even barter your specialty boots on other Loomians and can mess them up for later in the fight. Tata definitely is in consideration for the best specialty boots user in the game. And while I consider it the best, I do see a couple flaws with it. I mean, it is rather frail, its defensive typing is bad, but it doesn't matter when you outspeed everything and nuke everything else in return. Despite Tata's flaws, the fact that it hits so hard and it hits so fast makes it the number 1 specialty boots user by a long shot. And since it's a plant type, it can pretty much soak other pivot moves and priority moves. So yeah, Tata, the best boots user in the game. And here it is, Tata, the best specialty boots user in all of Loomian Legacy. If there are some other really good specialty boots users that are in Loomian Legacy, you can tell me in the comments below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye!